Recording. Okay, and welcome. It's December 20th. We're really into the winter solstice. A couple days here, so it's still very dark and probably will be until the end of class. Not that you can tell, but my front door is there. You can sort of see that it's still pretty pitch black out there. Yeah, let's get started. Today, we'll do some neck and shoulder love right off the bat and do some strengthening around the back, upper back, and opening through the chest. Near the neck and shoulders. When we're seated for long periods of time, and we might have an awkward looking down at a screen instead of looking up, and especially when we're on our phones and they're down here, we have a tendency to drop the head. I'll show this from a side view. When you just hold your phone here, and I know it's a little more tedious for the arm, but it's helpful to have it eye level and for the neck to not always be strained. So some things to think about today when you're going out and about. Just how is your posture? How are you holding your head normally? And most often, you think about just keeping it ears right over the shoulders and not be in that hunched position. That goes a long way, just being aware of how you're holding your head. So right now, we want to bring the lower sacrum in, lower lumbar, the sacrum more particularly, in and up. So it's almost like we're leaning forward. And then you're going to pull the ribs back to support from your core that vertical alignment. Your head should most likely just be right centered on the shoulders. We'll take the shoulders up to the ears and then back down, up and down. And then as you drop them, ha, we'll do a ha. Breathe in through the nose, exhale, ha. And we'll quicken the pace. Ha, 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 ha. Two more, ha. Three, last one, ha. And drop the neck. Let's take it side to side. Drop the head forward. Bringing the chin to the chest, ear to the shoulder, making a half circle. Right back onto the shoulders. Let's tip your ear to your right side. Bring the right arm up and over. And then instead of pulling down, as you know, we're going to push up, head into the hand. Opposite hand extending out. We start to feel that openness through the neck, shoulder area. And then bring it right back on. The center of the head, chin down and chin up. Exhale, drop the chin to the chest. Inhale, let's lift it up. One more time. And bring it back to vertical again, nice and tall. Leaning from the sacrum area in and up, then pulling back to the ribs. Drop the ear to the other shoulder. We're going to the left now. Left arm comes up and around. And you're just going to place the hand on the side of the head so you've got something to push against. And just gently and lightly lifting the head into the hand. And that opens up the neck a little bit more. It's like I'm peeling them apart in a very gentle way. Take a full breath in and full breath out, and see if you can direct your breath right into the area that's more open. Face, get back to center. Make a figure 8 with the nose. Realigning the neck. I get a lot of pinched nerve in the neck area. One thing I like to do is bring the thumbs right at the base of the occipital ridge, the base of the skull, and give it a circular motion in and out. And you can do this for tension headaches. I'm going to turn so you can see what I'm doing. They're right back here where the bony part is. I start towards the center, towards the neck, and move outward in a circle pattern, and then back in. So I'm going all the way to the center of the neck and then back out to the base of the ear. And again. And that releases some of the pressure in the head. It's a lovely gesture. So we'll move the spine a little bit here, coming back into a cross-legged seated position, up and over to the right. And then bring it back center over to the left. Let's go side to side. Lengthening and opening up the side body. Inhale, exhale. All the way around. Let's go one more time. Each side to the right. And to the left. Back to center. Take the hands behind the hips. Let's just stretch the legs out in front and give them a little bit of a shakedown. In fact, down, bend the knees, hop the feet, shins, knees, eyes in the hips. A little bit of a pound to the ribs and sides of the rib cage, shoulders crossing over, the arms. Now up to the neck and head. Just kind of wake up and shake it out a little bit. Coming into a downward facing dog. So just flip around. Take your feet a little bit wider and bend the knees here. We're going to strengthen and also get a lot more mobility in the arm bone, the shoulder here. So it's coming up over. Now, if you're used to rounding the back, I want to invite you to drop down on the knees for a moment. And here's why. When we lift the arm, we lift the shoulder as well. And then it creates this rounding around on the back side. So instead, bring the arms forward and then hug the arm bone right back into the shoulder socket here. So it's not out, it's in, and we're squeezing the back muscles. When you start to develop the back muscles, your neck isn't going to carry the weight of the head. Your back muscles are going to be supportive. So first things first is engage the back muscles. So you're going to bring the lower trapezius to the center. This lower trapezius is right behind the bra strap or right behind the heart. And you're squeezing it in towards the midline to bring the arm bone back into the shoulder socket. When it's relaxed, we broaden across the back and it rounds. And that puts us in a more hunch rounded position. So pulling back. And then just take this exercise overhead. You probably have a greater range of motion. Now through the arms, just by seating the arm bone in the shoulder socket. It's going to free up excess energy here. You'll have a greater space between the shoulder and the ear. So it's not way up here, it's gently dropping down. Back muscle still integrated, the head very free. Gonna take a moment to try that. And then the palms are gonna be flat. This is the position for a downward facing dog. My whole back is not rounded, it's very flat. So when I tip this on the end, first things first is this piston action, arm bone in the socket, out of the socket, arm bone in the socket, out of the socket. It's like a piston action. And actually I'm going in two very extreme positions. And I want to come somewhere right in between, so the arm bone's still congruent in that shoulder socket. Now, when I push the floor away and keep the hands stationary on the ground, my biceps are going to come right by the ear, and I'm extending the arms overhead, and I have a flat back. Now, if your hamstrings are tight, especially this early in the morning, bend your knees a bit, stick the butt back, and let's just move forward and back through the shoulder. So we get a nice range of motion here. Oh yeah. Forward, exhale back. And then press the heels to the floor or bend one knee. And then switch sides. Take your gaze towards your thumbs, bring the arm bones up slightly, bend your both knees again, and then soften the heart. So you create a little bit of a dip in the upper back. Then you're going to pull the ribs back in, pull in completely and contract until you feel the support from the front side to the back side. And your shoulders should be getting by now a little bit tired. So we're going to walk the hands back toward your feet. Moving the hands on the blocks or on the floor. Drop the head and nod yes. No. Make sure there's no tension at all in the head, neck, and shoulders. We'll bring the hands to the knees and roll up gently. Inhale and exhale, roll down. Lead with the heart. You're going to pull up, rounding the back, and the head follows. Try to keep the head very relaxed. And following the trajectory of the spine. It's not the mover, it's not the main attraction. Go up and down, through the spine. One more time, touch the floor. All the way back up. Let's bring the arms overhead. Staying in a nice, super wide stance. Up and over to your right side. Right arm comes down. And just turn to the side slightly so you can see I'm doing this in a very straight two-dimensional plane. Come back to center. Stretch up to the sky. And over to the left. Keeping the neck long. There shouldn't be any impingement. If you feel like you're straining when the neck's going forward, the arm overhead, bring the arm out a little bit so the elbow has a wing. And your head can be right in that two-dimensional plane, extending out of the turtle shell. And we'll come back up, bring your feet together, keep the arms overhead. Inhale, exhale, a forward fold. Bend your knees to get there. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, drop the head towards the floor. Grounding. Inhale, come all the way back up to standing. Lips together, heart center. Drop the arms down to your side. Let's give it a little shakedown once again. And take that breathing pattern where the arms, shoulders come up and we let it go. Ha, 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 ha. Two more. Ha. Last one. Ha. Chin to the chest and chin to the sky. Nice. Hands all the way behind. Brace on the spine, knuckles down, and open up to the heart. We're going to squeeze the shoulder blades on the back. And we do want this full range of motion. If you're so tense and tight on the front side here with the pectoralis muscle, it can impede the movement in the neck and strain. Again, because the back muscles are not strong, they're weaker than the front muscles, strain on the neck. So, although the neck is great to strengthen, we also want to strengthen the back muscles. So, and then release, which means we stretch or open or lengthen the front muscles. We shorten and contract the back muscles. So we can create some balance. Let's take the arms overhead again. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in. Still pretty stiff here. Bend the knees. Inhale, let's go all the way back up. And exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Add on. Inhale, reaching. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, up hands forward to downward facing dog. And let's come up into a top of a push-up here. Press the hands into the floor. So you create this magnetic energy, path of the fingers pressing down, and then broaden the shoulders out. Look in towards the navel, lift the navel up towards the sky, and keep that energy of the navel, and then just extend the head back out and take it back into downward facing dog. You gaze at your thumbs. Inhale forward, like motion again. Gaze stays at the thumbs, and exhale back. Gaze stay right at the thumbs. Inhale forward. And exhale back. The last one, as you come forward here, bring the knees to the floor. Take a chaturanga breath. Keeping the elbows at your side, 90-degree angle, and then the shoulders down away from the ears. Release the hips to the floor. Inhale, cobra. Again, keep the shoulders down away from the ears. Exhale back into downward facing dog. Step or walk your feet. You step or jump your feet to your hands. Inhale. Top lift. Exhale, fold in. Just standing. Together, your heart center. Let's do that again. Inhale, reaching. Exhale, forward fold. The head stretch long. No tension in the shoulders. Inhale. Flat back. Step or jump back into planks. Take that full extension. Draw the navel to the spine. Look inward. Open the heart, chest. Outward, knees to the floor. Chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra. Exhale. Back to downward facing dog. Inhale to a plank. Exhale back to downward dog. We're going to come forward and bring the left knee to the floor, extending the right leg back. We'll go right leg hip height, and the left arm right here, extending. Inhale. And as you bring it underneath, you're going to say yes, and pull the belly in firmly. Inhale out, exhale, affirm, yes, affirm your life. Inhale, extend, exhale, yes. Inhale, extend, last time, yes. And extend, let's bring the left hand to the floor, drop the foot. Kickstand, and then push the floor away into Vasisthasana, side plank here. Notice the head is extending out of the spine. We're not crunching the shoulders again, down away from the ears, pull the ribs in, and then take the right arm and bring it over the ear, right by bicep to your ear, stretching long. Inhale, lift it back up, lift the leg, hold tension on the foot. So you're going to press the foot into the hand, opening the shoulder even more, and draw the shoulder blade onto the back, pushing the heart open, not at the expense of the belly. So pull the ribs in, those lower ribs in, stretch the head back, 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 back. And release. Keep the right leg elevated. We're just going to close that gap, squaring off the hips and shoulders, and then lift into a three-legged down dog. Bend the knee, open the hip here, and take some big, wide circles through the hip. Bring the right knee in towards the nose and then back up. Extending out, inhale, exhale, knee to nose, inhale, extending out. Let's do that one more time. And then step all the way through to a low lunge. Hold that low lunge. Inhale, straighten the front leg, exhale, bend. If you have a block at this time or two, place them on either side of the ankle, so it gives you a little bit more space to straighten the leg. One more time, hold it. Let's spin the back heel to the floor, bring the arms inside, and stretch back. So I'm now in a pyramid pose, and I'm stretching that inner thigh. Breath in, deep breath out. Toes, dip the heel in, pull back, that does feel really good. And then we'll keep it here, bend your back knee, turning the foot out. Skandasana. Go a little bit deeper. Up and over. Let's bring the hands, flank the foot, step back into downward facing dog. Inhale, glide into plank, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, low cobra. Then we're going to double dip, come back into that chaturanga with the knees on. And then back into downward facing dog. That's just a double dip, strengthening the back. Let's bring your right knee to the floor, left leg straight back, a little pulse action. Then bring it hip height, right arm forward, left leg back. Inhale, exhale, yes. That hissing sound with the S can help support the lift in the abdomen. I can't see that because my shirt's quite big. Let's tuck it in. Inhale and then exhale, yes. Inhale, extend. Exhale, yes. Again. Exhale. Work. Stretch it all the way out, drop the hand. Toes, we're going to kickstand and open side wall. Stretch up and over, bicep to the ear. Keep the shoulders down, away from the ears. We stretch the left arm up and over. Just being hyper aware and sensitive where how we're holding the shoulders can be super helpful. And then bend the knee, hold of the foot, press the foot back into the hand. Really open up and stretch through the heart, chest, shoulder area. Full breath in, full breath out. And as you release, we're going to keep the left leg elevated. Square the shoulders, hips, right back to where we were, into three-legged down dog. It requires strengthen the arms, bend the knee, open through the hip area, ankle rotation. And then bring the knee forward, touching the forehead or attempting to. Inhale, stretch it all the way back out. And exhale, knee to forehead. Inhale, stretch it back up and out. To forehead one last time. Inhale, unfurl, and then step all the way through to a low lunge. We'll drop the hips gently. Inhale, straighten the front leg. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straight. Exhale, bend. Let's do that a couple more times. It's helpful to have a block on either side of the foot or inside the ankle. We'll hold the pyramid, lift the toes, walk the hands to the inside and spin your back foot. So now we're lengthening in this pyramid / downward facing dog position. Really charging the inner thigh. Take the inner thighs towards the back wall and then tone the navel and underbelly, drawing in and up. Arms stretch straight out. And then turn the right foot out and bend the knees. So we come back into that Skandasana style action. Up and over. Both hands to the mat, step back, chaturanga. We'll take a double dip here. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, chaturanga, back into downward facing dog. Oh yeah, and press the heel to the floor. Bring the right or left knee down once again. Stretch the right leg back out. Inhale, left arm this time. You're going to reach around and clasp the top of the foot. Press the foot into the hand. Square the shoulders and draw the breath, draw the low belly in. Watch the standing arm, that it stays straight, not hyperextended or locked out, but definitely not bending. Straighten the arm. Kick straight back, open the shoulder. And release. We'll come once again into Vasisthasana, that side plank. This time we'll change it up and move the right foot forward, the left leg back. So now we've just switched position of the legs, put a little bit more pressure in the Vasisthasana style. If you'd like to stack the feet on feet, I'm going to do so. And then circle all the way around. Back into downward facing dog. Inhale to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And a downward facing dog. Bring the right knee to the floor. Left leg extends. Inhale. Reach all the way around. So we hamstring curl. We'll take this arm out and away, reaching behind. To catch the foot, press the foot into the hand, open the heart, chest, shoulder area. And keep the left arm very strong for action. 2 more breaths here. The knee is elevated past the hip. We're pushing that leg upward. Keep toning the navel, stretching the chest forward, and release. That could be really a big, huge challenge. Shavasana. We'll step the left foot forward, even with the knee. Place the weight on the hand and the foot so we can shoot the right leg back. And there we are in a secondary Vasisthasana or stack tables. Plank version, side plank. First toe, place the left hand on the floor, straight back, downward facing dog. From here, we'll take a dolphin. So that's bending both elbows to the floor and bringing them down. Inhale forward and then take it back. And again, we're stretching through the shoulder, girdle areas, strengthening the back, coming up onto the toes and then back onto the heels. One more. Nice. Walk the feet back. I'm gonna walk my hands forward. Then we actually end up in a plank. You're gonna look to the navel, lift the navel away from the floor, push down through the toes, and then take the head and unfurl it back open, looking at the thumbs, broadening the shoulders, and holding this plank position for another breath or two. We're going to roll over onto the right arm and elbow, lifting up on the left hand, so turning the feet. Lay the arm, and then come back to center. And we'll go to the other side, keep the hips elevated. Right hand on the floor, steady. Open through the shoulder, keep the shoulder blade on the back. And come right back to center. And keep the hands together. We'll go to the right side again. Make a diamond shape. Holding that side plank and then come back down. And to the second side, making a diamond shape. Now looking right through the arm. And come back in, knees to the floor. Sit back on a Hatasana, puppy pose. So the arms are stretched out. Forehead to the floor. If that's easy enough, you can bring the chin to the floor. And to me, that's a little bit overstretched for my shoulders. So I like forehead to the floor. That works just great. And then we'll come back and sit in Vajrasana. We're going to really ignite the power of the core here with a little fire breath. We'll bring the arms, shoot here, out, palms facing forward, fingers tucked in, and then bring the arms up into a V. So your thumb fingers, the fire finger element, is extended. We'll take a breath in and then we'll pump the belly. Kapalabhati style. Here we go. Breathe in and begin. Each pump of the belly is an exhale, 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 exhale. Keep it going. Right power. Solar plexus. Four, three, two, one. Exhale all the air out. Inhale. Bring the thumbs together overhead and hold the breath for 30 seconds. Hold Mula Bandha. And release. The arms back down, shoulder roll. We'll do one more of those. Uniting with fire element. Agni. Inhale. Arms high V. Curl the fingers back. Halfway. Exhale and begin. Four, three, two, one. Exhale all the air out. Inhale, bring the thumbs together. Hold for 30 seconds. Extend the fingers. And release. Take the arms down. Breathe in. Shake it out. Let's take a hands and knees position. Flip your right fingers back. Stretching the wrist and the elbow. And peel back. Open and close the fist. Take it to the other side. Fingers around. And take a downward facing dog. Let's take the right leg to the sky. Inhale, bend knee all the way through. Take a warrior stance, a warrior two stance. Knee directly over the ankle. Reverse the warrior. And take a side angle. Reverse warrior. The side angle, touch the floor. One time. Straighten the leg. And take triangle. And the knee, come back through to warrior two. Let's switch sides. Now we're up the left leg, reverse warrior. And then side angle. I'm going to turn around. Heel. And reverse warrior. Side angle. Touch the earth. A little bit further. Inhale, reverse. So, side angle. Let's come into triangle pose. Big stretch. Reach out over. Gracefully take it to the floor. Full breath in, full breath out. The knee, come right back up. Let's take a center stance, alternate toes. Inhale, opening the arms. Exhale, take the hands down the backside. Hand to the floor. And release it all the way down. Inhale to flat back, turning the toes out. Let's bend the right knee, open it, Skandasana. Back to center, inhale, the left side. center to the right, and center to the left. Back over to the right in a low lunge. Come up into a crescent lunge. Take the hands behind the base of the skull and press up. Inhale, exhale, bow forward. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to heart, bow forward. And we'll take it in a twist. Elbow across the shoulder and get that beautiful stretch. Release it. Coming back up. Center to the other side. Crescent lunge. Hands to the base of the skull. Placing the fingers across the head back. And stretch to the spine. Hinge your balance. And release, bow forward. Inhale, straight up. Exhale, hands to heart. Bow in. Now take a twist. Elbow across the thigh, pressing down. Up. Release. Take a high stance. Your exhale. Turn the toes out, hands to the knees, and drop the shoulder in. Back to center, drop the other shoulder in. And take a forward fold. Wide angle style, so the legs are out to the side. And touching the floor. Oh. Full breath in, full breath out. Inhale. Extend forward. And let's walk it back into downward facing dog. Back. Inhale to plate. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, so we'll come into pigeon. We'll bring the right leg forward. Cross the mat. Let the hip come down. Give it a little bit of shimmy side to side. And I'm pointing the foot pretty good because my hip's pretty tight. And my heel's coming in towards the groin. I'm going to walk forward. With the hands. Fall in. Let the forehead come all the way to the earth. Touching down and releasing. Big breath in, big breath out. And now let's back up. Shift the weight to the right here. Bring the left leg all the way around. And we'll place the left leg underneath the right. Take a fire log position. Oh, that's pretty intense for me. I would suggest bringing a pillow or block underneath the knee, one or both knees. That's pretty very intense for me. And we're going to do something with the arms and not hesitate. The right arm underneath the left, and take an eagle arm so we stretch across the shoulders broad and long. We're upright, seated, fire log legs. Go Buddha arms, and then take it forward. And look at the shoulders. Take the hands out, towards the floor. That deeper stretch across the neck and shoulder. Release back to vertical, unwind the arms, and take them to the side. Lean forwards, more. This really gets my hips so much. So much. And release. So my left leg is on the bottom, my right leg's going to come all the way around. And I'll take pigeon on the other side. Now, some friends are, feel like this hurts or impinges the knee. So let me show you an alternative to this one. And that would be just cross the ankle over the thigh and take it in a seated or even lying down position where we're actually Sukhi Vandrasana. So this pigeon is the same as this one, just we don't have the weight and pressure on the knee. And if your hip is pretty tight, that weight and pressure can be pretty great on the knee and actually throw it off. So we want to be quite careful there. Sure, we're taking care of your needs and need. In. And then we'll bring it around. Slide the right knee underneath the left, stopping the shins by our log. It's a stocking. It's one on top of the other versus cross-legged seated position. I'm not crossing my legs in a seated position. I'm stocking the shins. It's very much for opening the hip, and it can be intense. So you can bring a block or blanket underneath one or both of the knees. And we'll take the arms wide, left arm under the right. Drop it in equal. Exhale, let's make it small. Roll that hollow center through the navel. Strong with belly. C-shape. You stretch all the way into the shoulders and neck area to unravel your arms, lift the spine, support yourself and lean forward. On the legs, forward, shake out. Let's take it onto your back. We didn't get to all our core work, if that's okay. Next week we'll work a little bit more on the core and our balancing. So let's do bridge. Set your feet down. Open broad across the shoulders. So you're pinning the back side of the shoulder to the mat to elevate the hips as you press down through the feet. Bring your palms open to the sky, resting at your side, and then try to tuck the shoulder blades underneath you and maybe stretch the hands out to bring the fingers right underneath the heel. There's a little bit higher. There's also a nice, great stretch for the neck. Make sure that the curve in the cervical spine stays intact. Lower the hips back down. What you can do the second time is bring a block or a bolster underneath the hip and support your bridge. So you'll raise the hips. I don't have a block. I'm going to take shoulders down. I'll just bring the legs right up overhead in a shoulder stand. Keep my head gaze straight up, shoulders broad, no weight or pressure is on the neck. And then you could plow by bringing one or both legs to the floor. That's quite a back stretch. Really full stretch for the spine. Doing one leg at a time is pretty good. Yeah. Here for about 10 breaths. And then slowly releasing. Move the block. Back down. Push pose. Yeah. Release it, tucking the knees into the chest. And let's take it over to the right side in a nice easy spinal twist. Let your head roll side to side, releasing any neck tension. Back to center, over to the other side. Same thing here. Roll the head out, releasing any tension. And then come back to center. A happy baby. And make yourself comfortable as you move into Shavasana. Legs to the side, arms to the side. Shavasana is our deep relaxation. We want to stay here for at least a few minutes. 5 would be ideal, 10 even better. So you take your time here. It's not that we're going to sleep, it's that we're resting the body and rejuvenating. We're giving it time, space to re-energize and re-employ. With that full steam ahead that we really are used to, I think, as human beings living in a very fast-paced world. So take time here, be comfortable, even maybe place a blanket over you, make sure you're warm. Let the eyes rest, arms rest, neck and shoulders rest. As soon as you start to feel that release and surrender into the floor, that's the beginning of the relaxation. From there on, it's icing on the cake, so to speak, in allowing the body to rejuvenate. You want to get to the point where there's a complete surrender, release. And then for a minute or two, go beyond that. Often. One more minute. Take a deep breath into the belly. Put the move the fingers in toes and begin to roll to one side. Give yourself a pat, invisible pat on the back, and an acknowledgement of gratitude for coming, being here, doing the work. And then as you sit upright, seated position, that neck area, shoulder area is a place where we hold tension, and sometimes we hold burden. So we just take a deep breath in and let it out with a sigh. Release any burden and tension, especially that which does not belong to you. And then be mindful of the day. How we're holding the alignment in the neck and shoulder, and either perpetuating the tension or we're dialing it back and allowing it to release. Obviously prefer the latter. So conscious effort, changes can be made through daily habit. Thank you so much for joining me today. Om Namo Shivaya, Om Namo Shivaya, Om Namo Shivaya. Great love, trust, respect, I honor my heart and my teacher. Namaste.